Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Secondary Heroes podcast. We're talking about Marvel's latest show, Miss Marvel. This show's Trevor, and joining me as usual is...
Hey guys, it's Prague.
And this is Alexander Wolfgang.
Nice.
What's up, guys?
This is really fun. Rather than talking about an episode each week, we get to just talk about all 6 episodes at once.
Oh, so is that going to make this episode a long one, or can we just whip through it real quick?
We'll see. We'll
Cool.
see. It's our last one before Comic-Con. Here we go.
Oh, Comic-Con. Are you guys fully prepared for Comic-Con at this point?
Nope.
As prepared as I'm going to be, because I like the last minute everything. Like, you know, you got that cosplay set up. You order it the Saturday before, right? That's how you do it?
I just got my piece today sitting behind me. Yes, the last piece. The one that, our group piece. I still say I should have done purple. Yeah.
If you're listening and you see us this week in San Diego, be sure to say, hey, I'm a listener. I'm excited for your cosplay.
Yeah.
Until they see our cosplay and they go, oh, this is what I heard about. Okay, cool. Never mind.
This?
Great. If you guys do see us at all during Comic-Con, please take a picture with us. We'll post it on our social medias. It'll be fun, man.
Yeah, we're excited to go. It's been a few years since we've had it, so it'd be good to be back in action and see everybody. Is there
anything that you guys are most excited about for this? Because I know what I'm most excited about.
Auntie Anne's pretzels for me.
Well, you could just ask and I'll send you some. I do live down here.
I'm joking.
Oh, okay. Well, for me, it's Fun Days, man. Fun Days is going to be a blast. I'm super excited about it. But we're going to do a full recap episode next week for San Diego Comic-Con. But this week, what are we doing again?
We are doing Miss Marvel on Disney Plus.
The Marvelous Miss Marvel.
That's right. That's
the prequel to the Marvels.
Yes.
Marvels. Is that a real thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a movie coming out, The Marvels.
Yep.
You didn't see
the
stinger
really?
At the end? Yeah.
Oh, I did see. Oh, spoiler alert.
There's a stinger at the end?
Nah, it's not really. I mean, The Marvels were announced, like 2 or 3 years ago at this point now. So
really?
It's old news.
Wow.
Yeah. They've changed the name a few times, but it is now The Marvels. So instead of just a Captain Marvel. Anyway, it is The Marvels. It's coming out. But yeah,
this show was on Disney Plus, which honestly I had heard nothing about this. This is like a total out of nowhere show for me. I was not expecting it. And I think
we did a preview podcast for Miss Marvel.
What? I wasn't a part of it then.
You weren't a part of it. It was just me and Frog, but we still did it.
Don't pull me into that.
But you could have at least followed us on social and seen the secondary
and listened
about it.
God,
no, I probably did listen to, but that was a year ago.
I don't know.
It was a while ago.
It was a while ago. How am I supposed to remember every episode that we do, especially the ones that I'm not in?
And there's a lot of content, so I don't blame you to not have heard
exactly,
much
baby. Ooh,
and they dropped this at the same time as Obi-Wan, so they kind of buried it, which is kind of annoying. Is what it is.
Yeah, which I do feel hurt this show a little bit.
Yeah, it was strange. I mean, I can understand if you were to alternate, like put one on Wednesday and one on Friday for releases, but to have them on the same day was kind of weird. I don't think it necessarily hurt the show too much, but it was an odd choice, I think. Especially for those first few episodes to really get people in and like, wow, I didn't know that was happening. I'm just watching this other show.
And not only that, this show, it was one of the weaker premieres of any Marvel show so far. And
unfortunately,
she doesn't have the built-in name recognition that a lot of the other characters have that they've done shows on.
Right. Yeah, it was an odd choice. I don't know who at Disney thought that was a good idea in the marketing department.
Who thought that Guardians of the Galaxy was a good choice? Who thought that, that's stuff that who would have thought that would have taken off like it did?
Sure.
No,
but,
we're talking about the marketing department not letting this take off because they launched it stupidly.
Oh,
my
bad.
Okay, I was confused.
No,
but yes.
Let's edit that part out.
No.
Because I feel dumb. So what did you guys think of the show in a non-spoiler way?
Oh, our non-spoiler reviews before we get into our spoilers, you say?
Yeah.
Hmm.
You know what? Alex always goes first, so I'll go first this time.
Oh, nice.
So I just finished it last night, and I have to say that I was pleasantly surprised over the course of the show because it felt different than every other Marvel show that they've done. And I feel like at its core, other shows that weren't the best could have leaned heavier into this show, really focusing on character and focusing on what makes specifically Kamala Khan different. Like she has a completely different heritage, and they went all in into her cultural differences versus any other Marvel character. And really, it's also not something we see on TV just in general. They did a really good job in focusing on it. And I really enjoyed every aspect of that. I liked all the characters. I thought the overarching story didn't have like the biggest maximum climax or anything, but this is, just an intro to her story to set her up. And I think they did a really good job with that.
Nice.
And it's a ton of fun.
Yeah. All right. Good review.
Yeah, Brog, you want to go now?
I'll be the middle again. Yes.
All right.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this show. Despite some nitpicks that I had with some visual stuff, I think overall it was probably one of my favorite shows that Disney Plus has put out. I still prefer WandaVision overall, but I think that this was probably handled better overall than that show. And to Trevor's point, it was the characters. I like character-driven stories, period. I don't care what it is. I love character-driven stuff, and this had some of the best characters I've seen in a long time in Marvel. And it was a lot of fun to see these different characters and how they interact. And it was a lot more positive than what we've seen in Marvel. We see a lot of comedy and stuff too, but it doesn't seem like it seems like there's a lot of cynicism and darkness in a lot of MCU shows and movies, and I felt like this was kind of a breath of fresh air. I don't know. I really dug it. I thought it was a great show, and I think it's worth watching. If you're someone who doesn't know much about this character or what it's about, or maybe you don't think you'll be interested in this, yeah, definitely give it a shot. It really is visually unique as well. So I appreciated that. Breath of fresh air for the MCU.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, what both you guys have said, it pretty much nailed it. I very much so. What drew me in is learning a little bit about a different culture, a culture that in our lifetime has kind of been villainized just about in everything that we've ever seen. When you see a Muslim, they're usually a villain in the movies. Like, you never really see them as the good guy. And seeing them as the good guy, and then learning backstory, and then learning more about the culture, and then seeing Pakistan. When they said they were going to Pakistan, I was like, wow, we're going to go see Pakistan. This is going to be really...
No way they're going to do that. And they did it. I'm like, oh,
and they did it. And it wasn't like a war-torn village and a war-torn this and this. And it was like,
really nice to see that.
I am 100% on. I think that's what drew me in was, this is something completely out of nowhere. Like, I was not expecting this at all. I will say the show started super strong. I was like, the visuals are fun. It was like graffiti fun. It was neat. It was different. And then it lost that throughout the episodes, but it still kept this sense of fun and excitement. And little things happen, but it's stuff that you can get over. And I'm trying to, I always do this where I'm like, oh gosh, I'm just about saying all these spoilers, but all in all, man, this is a cool watch. Right once you watch the first episode, because I went into this totally blind, not knowing anything about Miss Marvel, not knowing anything about the character or really anything. And I pretty much fell in love with it. I'm like, wow, this is so cool. So yeah, I'm all in on it.
All right, well said.
Yeah.
So 3 likes.
Whew, 3 likes. Now let's nitpick at it.
Well, let's do some socials first. How about that?
After our socials. Waiting for the music. There we go. Well, or the banner, whatever, either one. Check us out over on crossthestreamsmedia.com. You can leave us a voicemail. What did you think of Miss Marvel? Because Miss Marvel was fun to us. Was it fun to you? Did you like that they went a different direction than most? Heck, was this a different universe? Anyways, check us out at crossthestreamsmedia.com or go to all of our socials at Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Mainly Twitter, though. We're very active on Twitter. Yeah, and then check us out on YouTube because you can watch all of our episodes over there where you could see us. And you can comment down below and interact with us because I try to interact with everybody when they comment. Even if it's a bad comment, I just try to lighten the mood too. Either way, man, all this is free for you and it's priceless to us. Don't forget to go over to iTunes and rate us on there. That always helps getting more people. And don't forget, next week we will be at SDCC. So you want to follow along with our fun little follow along. Just follow.
Expose.
Golly, words are easy tonight.
Yeah, it's just escapades of fun. So I would say escapades of fun is a good way to describe this show because it starts off just with the idea, could you imagine growing up in this universe where all of these things exist? They're real. And that's we get to see her and just a person of her age know that Captain Marvel's real. It's not just like a comic book character. It's really interesting. Just her story developed where it's this new age that was raised on superheroes being real.
Yeah. And they never mention like a blip or anything like that. So it kind of makes me wonder, is this a different universe as well? And the only reason why I wonder that is because of Circle Q.
Why? What makes you think?
Well, it's not a Circle K.
Oh, jeez. It's a corner mark. I think it's like a knockoff brand of it. No,
really?
It's 616. It was confirmed as the same.
Oh, that's lame, man. Every time I saw Circle Q, I was like, this is gotta be a different universe. But yeah, I totally agree with you, Trevor. Being in the world where superheroes are real, and we're actually following along with a fan of superheroes and not so much the superheroes like The Boys, or any other Marvel property. Yeah, this was really cool.
Yeah, it was a fun kickoff to the series, I think, that first episode. They obviously spent a lot of time with that first episode, especially with all the editing and all the special effects that went into all those unique design ideas and storytelling elements that clearly they didn't either have the budget or the people to do it throughout the whole series, but they did implement it where they could, which was a lot of fun. Yeah, as I said, there's a few episodes where they kind of took a step back from using those. And I know that this production went through some delays with COVID and whatnot and some setbacks here and there. So I'm sure that affected certain aspects of post-production on this. So anyways, it was fun to see that in that first episode.
Yeah.
Not only that, like we're going to Comic-Con next week, and just the idea that there's an Avenger Con, and so this is my one nitpick. It looked like they were going into a high school dance. It didn't look like it looked like the people who've done this show have never been to a convention, but an entryway
it was
does not
definitely
look like
not
a
a
high school
convention.
dance.
Nor does it usually take place at night. But
the nighttime thing, the 7 p.m. I don't know any con that's even open still at 7 p.m.
But who knows? It's Jersey. They do things different there.
Or the fact that it was
be out during the day. The Sopranos are out
so
and about.
Dark. It was so dark in the con.
Yeah, it was actually kind of cool. I kind of like the inside.
Really? I didn't like how dark it was. I loved it.
Oh, it was great. The mood lighting and stuff. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. More cons need to be like that. Just FYI.
And just with that disaster, this was the first Avenger Con. It was probably the last Avenger Con too.
Yeah. They're like, wait a second, people get superpowers here and they destroy everything? Yeah, let's shut this down. No more cons.
So goodness, where do you guys want to really, really like start this whole thing off?
Well, do you want to talk about her?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do that.
The main character, Amon Vellani.
So, Yeah, Kamala, it's interesting because like after a couple episodes, I was like, she's the least likable character on the show just because the parents are great, Bruno's great, Nakia's great. Like all she has this really great support system and she still doesn't appreciate it and she just acts like a brat to everybody. Like
Right.
no matter how great they are.
Mhm.
Like when her dad is full on as the Hulk and the
Oh,
mom
dude.
makes the full
Yes.
Hulk costume that's inspired by her culture. The dad was so let down when she's like, "Oh, I don't care that you want to help," or "No, it's a no for me." I'm like, I don't know. She was just so indignant to everything.
She was. Yeah, she was. But to be fair, like I would have that same exact reaction. Like I would have been absolutely mortified if that happened to me. So it was believable to
Really?
me. Oh yeah.
Oh, I
Oh
would
yeah.
have been
Oh my.
excited the
100%.
fact that my parents said yes, that I could go to
Mortified.
Avenger. Are you
Mortified. Are you
kidding
kidding
me?
me?
Your
Mm-mm.
parents just said yes, that you can go to the
Heck
first
no.
Avenger Con.
I
Like,
guarantee you, not many teenagers would like that.
with like the
Just
fact
saying.
that you had to wear
I don't
the
know. The dad
costume,
going
or
full in on cosplay is
I
something that
love
I
it.
don't think many kids like. A lot of kids like cosplay, and there's a lot of limitations to that.
Yeah. I don't know. That was just me.
Not many
It felt
parents are
believable to
supportive of
me.
cosplay.
I was just
Yeah,
as a father, I was heartbroken for the parents.
I know. But made for
Because
good character development, I think, for these
I
characters. You
swear,
can't
man.
have them be happy together all the time about everything.
But here's the thing: is like, okay, so this show, I felt like this was it almost. It ran very much parallel to the movie Turning Red at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Did you
Okay,
guys feel
yes.
that?
Yeah.
Did you feel at the very beginning of Turning Red, before she eventually turns red, there is a super similar parallel. Even the very first scene where it's like, "Hey, I'm Kamala Khan. I'm hanging out in Jersey City. I'm
Mhm.
just a teenager who loves Miss Marvel." And it was the same thing as Hey,
And she had to
I'm
go
the girl
somewhere she
from
wasn't allowed
Turning
to
Red.
go. Yes.
I
Yeah,
was
beat for
like,
beat,
wow,
pretty similar.
it was pretty beat for beat. But I mean, eventually, obviously, they take their turns drastically.
Of course. Yes. Yeah, I'm trying to think because that I don't know how long or who would have known the storyline for Turning Red. But I'm pretty sure the comic book came out long enough before then to
Well, no,
not have that.
what I mean
I
is the
know,
way
I know,
they shot
stylistically,
it, the way
sure.
that
I know.
the way they start.
I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah, yeah.
I
You
agree.
got it. You know what I'm talking about.
I agree. But did you like Kamala at least overall? Trevor, or you just thought that she was not likable at all, or just the least likable?
I thought she was the least likable. That doesn't make her unlikable. I just
Okay.
really liked everyone else. Like I think it's kind of like they're up here and she's good, but they're great. Like
Sure.
whether
Sure,
it's
sure.
the acting, whether it's the lines they were given, because also Kamala, she has this like oscillating thing where she whispers and swallows half of the things she says,
Yeah, she
or
does.
she's
Yeah.
completely outward and outgoing and just really boisterous. And it was just I couldn't really keep up with she didn't use it like necessarily in the situation always as necessary.
Yeah, I get you. I felt that way too. There's some times where I had to like put on subtitles because I wasn't too sure what she was saying because she was whispering her dialogue so much. I was like, all right, I'm not too sure what she's saying. But it's such a strong cast that yeah, your lead kind of got drowned out a bit at times, and I agree with that. She was kind of the Ted Mosby of this cast. Yeah, just kind of
Oh,
there.
Ted Mosby.
Nothing wrong with him. He's
Oh,
a great guy and all, but when you have that cast surrounding
but
you, it's
that
kind
cat.
of hard.
Oh my god, what a great. That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so I
cool.
see your point, Trevor. But I really did like her. I do know that this is her first role ever in anything, so she had some pretty, and it's a big deal. It's not like it's like some small indie
Mhm.
project, you know.
Yeah,
So
you are
I'm
now a
sure we'll
part of the
see
Marvel
her
universe.
grow as an actress and become better and better. So we'll see where that goes.
Even just by episode 6, like just her learning lesson, like after she goes back in time and sees
Hmm.
what happens to her grandmother and or great grandmother, and she definitely grows a lot as a character, and I think she fits better as an actress. Like she got her feet
Mm.
under her, like more comfortable on set. You can tell.
Yeah, oh for sure.
Well, speaking of her getting her footing and her feet, did that little bangle that she put on give her unlimited cardio? Because
Yeah.
her
Hmm.
as a teenager, she could barely walk her own 2 feet and she was already out of breath. And all of a sudden now she can run up skyscrapers with
Yeah, you didn't know
ease.
that? Yeah, Bengals. Yeah, go to the store right now. If you buy some, they give you endurance. It's really great. I wear one every day. It's fantastic.
It bothered me so much. It did. It bothered me.
I never would have noticed. I don't think anyone would have,
Really?
except for you. Yeah.
Oh my God,
You find
they
weird
have the
stuff.
shot.
I enjoy your weird things. Like you're the only
Dude.
person in the world that sees this thing in a show and like, oh, I can't believe in this show.
She literally
where she
ran
gets
away from
magical powers from an alternate
And
dimension.
and they never show her huffing and puffing. They never show her. Like, dude, you just ran like her little ice cubes that she's throwing down or whatever. She's running up them like she's running up a flight of stairs.
You're
dude,
cute, Alex.
Are you kidding? She was at the top of the Empire State Building at one point.
I love you, Alex. This is great.
Running full speed, and I'm like, how are you not out of breath? That's BS. I'm calling you out,
Terrible.
Kamala Khan.
Terrible.
Unbelievable.
Man, lazy writers, huh? Jeez.
Lazy.
Jeez.
Just show one part where she's out of breath.
Right? Right, next season.
Anyways, I'm not going to talk about how
No, it's fun. That was fun.
she run all of a sudden. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
So any favorite characters then for you guys on the show?
I really like the dad, but I also like the head of the mosque guy. He was pretty great.
Oh, he was great. Yeah. Little words of wisdom all the time. Always had a little smile on his face.
I don't know
he was
why,
a sweet guy.
I really liked the brother.
No, brother's funny as heck.
The brother's funny, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Great.
Great comedic timing.
He
Deadpan
was
dry
great.
humor. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun stuff. Yeah, the dad was probably one of my favorite characters on the show, I think. And then surprisingly, the mom. Like the mom, I thought like had this great character growth. You know, she went from this like kind of, skeptical of her daughter and what she does and kind of begrudgingly doing things, but being kind of that mom to everybody, and then growing to see her own mother for who she was, and then her daughter for who she became, and kind of being in the middle of those two parts of her family tree was kind of neat to see her kind of own that and discover what she loves about her family. And it was just a neat character art for her, and I think the actress who played her did a fantastic job, especially there's a moment where she watches her like jump and do her little star jumpy thing, and she's like in awe of her daughter and in love with her daughter. It was great. It was a great moment. So yeah, just a great cast of characters, man.
Yeah.
I want to see more
the
Nakia.
dad-
Hopefully we get more of her too later.
Yeah, Nakia just running for the board and she was always like, she has that one speech in the bathroom where she talks about how she was too light to be Pakistani, but she's too dark to be white, and she just has no belonging whatsoever anywhere.
Right. Yep. She just kind of owns it though. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna wear it, and it's who I am. There you go. It's fantastic. So, and we got Brian. I'm sorry, Bruno. My bad. I even typed that in my notes and it auto-corrected it to Brian. I thought that was kind of funny. And I wonder if they got the joke from that. So, yeah. So shout out to him. He was from The Walking Dead, a vet from that show.
Really?
I thought he did great. Yeah.
It's funny.
After I stopped watching.
In the final episode, there's things that just where he's talking, he's trying to get the cops or the Department of Control. Yeah. No, just him talking. He sounds just like Tom Holland as Peter Parker. I'm like, this dude could play Peter Parker.
Interesting. He kind of has that look too, a bit. All right.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
He looks very similar.
And did you like his Marty McFly outfit there, Alex?
I did. When they were at Avenger Con, I'm like, is he dressed as Marty McFly?
No, that's just his outfit. That's what he's
I
cosplaying.
didn't even. What?
You didn't realize it? It was a direct homage to him.
I might have noticed it, but that was like the second episode or the first episode or something like that. So
it was fun, though.
That was weeks ago for me.
Yeah.
I should have just binge watched this whole thing just so it would be fresh in my head.
It's all right. Makes it more fun this way. You can complain about the little things more.
I can complain about her not getting out of breath. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. Big notes.
and she's time traveling. I'm sorry. She's time traveling with her bangle.
How do you do that? Oh my god.
Now, what did you guys think of the bad guys? or the
that was
the,
my note that I did not care for them. And I think
no.
this is an issue with all these Disney Plus shows is that the bad guys, whether they're bad or misunderstood, whatever you want to call them, the antagonists are the weakest parts usually. Almost always. Except for Agatha, I thought she was pretty good and fun, but like for the most part, they're always just kind of thrown together, or I don't know. Their lines aren't well written, not always well acted. Yeah, the Flag Smashers and these guys, and God, I can't remember some of the other villains. Are
I
so
thought He Who
like
Remains was
forgettable.
pretty good. Just saying.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
he
he was
was
at
in
the
the show.
very
Yeah,
end.
at very
Yeah, I'm
end
talking
for
about
like
like
10 minutes.
the antagonist for the whole
Killed him.
time would have been the TVA, I guess. I don't know.
So also just mentioning the TVA, when she does go
Yes.
back in time, how come the
Mhm.
TVA isn't there when she's literally messing up? Like, I understand how
She's in
time
a
travel
time
works,
loop.
and yeah, she creates the time loop herself, but I feel like the TVA should have been there. She kind of messed up
Hmm.
something.
Should have been there, or she maybe
Oh.
was doing it like by via a different realm, possibly. So she circumnavigated the timeline police by doing that. I'm just thinking like in terms of like a comic book writer and the BS that they come up with to do that kind of stuff. Because they do that all the time. It's like, well, when she time travels, because a lot of them when they travel, they go into different realms briefly. Like you never always see them, but like they go use an alternate dimension sometimes to get to another place in time or another place in the world. So it's possible that she traveled through a different dimension to get there. And that's how that is a good point and a good question that they will probably never answer.
No,
So
it's
yay.
the thing when you have different showrunners and writers doing different shows
Oh, of
almost
course. Yeah, they're not
spreading at the
they're
same
not
time. Yeah.
cross-referencing with each other. Yeah.
See, but that's a problem. That's a problem when you've got the pedigree of Marvel, the Marvel universe, is you all should be talking to each other.
They should.
But then
It's also the
everything would
problem with
be.
messing with time too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It is. But I'll allow it. It was a fun
But it was a
story.
good just depiction, yeah, of seeing her great grandmother essentially be from a different dimension to decide to stay here on Earth in this dimension and live out her life and have a child and have love and not like just that also that time period of essentially forming Pakistan by oh most of India is based on Hindu religion and so the Muslims
Mm-hmm.
were going to create a new little off section. We're just going to create this random arbitrary line
Yeah.
and people are still going to riot and have civil wars over these like the one lady said some old English guy created some random line and now people are going to fight over that.
Yep. Yeah, I like how he knew the British are like, here, you can have your land back, but we're going to tell you how to run it. What? Okay.
Divide and conquer.
Okay. Mhm. Okay, guys. Sure.
So how did you guys like
yeah.
that little going back in time moment?
I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was well done. Well, it was kind of fun
Yeah.
to see that and
Yeah.
go back there
Just
to
to
a point in
show
history.
yeah a point in history that isn't really emphasized in America.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
Right.
many people know about it. So it was really
Yeah.
nice to see that. And to have her see it too, because maybe she didn't really know much about it. And she got to go back and witness it firsthand, was probably pretty powerful. And she got to have that whole
Imagine
Harry Potter moment where she got to see that, oh, it was me the whole time. I was the stars. I was the doe in the woods that saved us. It's a good moment.
and just imagine actually finding your grandmother as a toddler and picking her up.
Oh, yeah, that was kind
Oh
of a cool moment.
yeah.
It would just be weird.
Such a cool moment. Yeah, weird, but it was a cool moment. Like, okay, grandma.
So you must be my Uncle Joey. Better get used to these bars, kid.
Oh, nice.
Back to the
reference.
future.
You were holding
There
that one
we
in
go.
for a while. All right.
Actually, no. Right once you said pick up your grandmother, I thought
Yeah, it
about
was the same idea, right?
yeah. Nani.
Nice.
Nani was her name. Yes.
Yes, Nani. Yeah. That was cute.
And
I
then
really enjoyed that.
how bad of a name is Nightlight? Like, there's the one point where she goes to save the little kid, and the guy's like, "Yo, it's Nightlight," and I'm like,
Nightlight!
that could have
Like,
been
oh,
stupider.
Oh no.
Well, I think she even goes,
Oh,
no,
she- yeah.
don't,
Oh no,
no,
they all
no,
hate
don't
it
do
so much.
that.
Yeah, let's not do Nightlight. Yeah. Starlight,
In a
yes.
very-
Nightlight, no.
The final like conflict too. They have that point where they're like the damage control guys are like, "Yes, Mrs. Nightlight," or whatever.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Whatever you
And
say.
she's like, "No, no." She's like
No.
in the middle of doing all this stuff, and she's like, "No, no."
Yeah. Anything but that. We'll do something else. Don't worry. I'll talk to my dad later. We'll get a better name going for me. So, anyways, all right. So we
Well,
have the show. Anything that stood out to you is like one of your favorite moments or scenes?
I mean, AvengerCon was probably one of my favorite scenes. It was really fun.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
just
fun.
such a fun scene. And then her to actually learn that she's got powers. Like, it was kind of weird. Like, she definitely looked like a little kid in her, like, Miss
She
Marvel. Or
did. She looked a lot younger when she put that
when
costume
she
on.
put the costume on, she looked like a
Yep.
little kid. And then all of a sudden, now she's doing all these powers. And it was like, I don't know. It was just really, it was, that whole scene was really neat to see.
That was fun. Yeah, I enjoyed all the little Easter eggs too. They kept painting different things and little callbacks to the old shows. So
Yeah.
I like that part too. And good
Now, what about-
music. God, there's great music. Especially that first
Yeah.
episode. But throughout the series, it was really good.
The first episode was, I still say by far the best. The best of the whole series. But, I mean, the rest of the show is real fun.
Yeah.
Wait, what was you guys' standout?
I have a few. I think for me, I really, yes, other than the first episode, I really enjoyed the chase scene through Pakistan. I thought that felt like a real legitimate like Hollywood chase scene. You know, because a lot of times in these Disney Plus shows, as we've seen, they've been pretty lackluster. They've lacked momentum, and this felt like it had oomph to it. Maybe not perfect, but it was a lot of fun. You know, going down the different alleys and streets and hitting carts and swapping cars and stuff. So I
It
enjoyed
was
that.
just fun that they were in car and then on foot, and you actually get to see the streets that have so much going on. Like there's just a explosion of color and stuff, and they're
Yeah.
smashing through it and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, and I want to shout out before I forget the production designer. Whoever is dressing the sets for this show is like probably the best I've seen in set decoration on any television show in a long time. So shout out to whoever that was because it was really spot on. The color coordination, everything, especially in the Circle Q. If you look at the Circle Q and look at how that's set up, it is phenomenal. Really well done. Really aesthetically pleasing.
The one thing that I did notice was when we got to Pakistan for the first time, like when they step off the plane, because it's something that I've never seen, and obviously it's not shown in a good light very often. I was wondering, oh, are they just going to have like a throwaway scene of them being in Pakistan, quote unquote Pakistan? And at first it felt like that. Like it was like a bunch of quick cuts, just like, oh, here's like little blips of just, you can't tell what's really
that. Yeah, here's
something quick, here's something quick, here's something.
Right.
And I was like, oh man, they're not going to do anything here. And then all of a sudden, then they get into it, and I'm like, okay, cool. But I was like, I don't know why, but there was in the back of my head, I'm like, they didn't really go to, they probably didn't go to Pakistan.
No, this was filmed on location.
But it was like, wow, this is a real place.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. I mean, obviously not all the scenes were filmed on location, but yeah, they actually did location.
After last week when you mentioned how bad the CG was, I definitely watched an episode where I was like, that is some terrible green screen where she's standing on the balcony talking to her grandmother.
Yeah.
And it was the worst green screen I've ever seen. It was so bad.
Yeah, they haven't figured out how to properly light that yet. So in the MCU,
for sure,
it's the way it is. Just gotta live with it. And remember, these guys they're being stretched thin. I know Disney has a lot of money, but I'm sure they budget like just so much per show, and they have a lot of shows right now. So the team only has so much money to work with, and you can tell. And I mean, if they were to spend most of the money on that fun stuff, like the graffiti stuff and the text messages and things, like fine, that's fine. Like I don't really care about her powers looking perfect or something, or the green screening. So even though it did look bad, I think they were just rushed and probably didn't have much money to do much with it. So,
but did you guys
Once
feel
we see her in the movies, we will see her powers better, I think.
Do you guys feel like they kind of had like little faith in this show?
I don't know. I just wonder. Like, it still feels weird that they put it debuting on the same night as their big Obi-Wan Kenobi show that they knew would be a hit because it was a surefire hit, right? Everyone likes Obi-Wan Kenobi as a famous character, well known. Like, why would you debut a unknown new character at the same time?
Right.
I don't know. So
I
yeah,
wonder
maybe.
if it's because of just like her culture, and more than anything, it doesn't necessarily
thinking that
market
too.
well.
Yeah,
Doesn't
could
market
be.
well in well, and it's kind of like the same thing that they did on The Boys, where they had the Pakistani girl on the game show or on the whatever the
Right.
superhero game show, and they were like, in our market that doesn't work. She
Right.
can't
Yep.
win because that doesn't work in our market. So it's almost like Disney kind of doing the same thing.
I mean, I hope that isn't the case, but
I
it
mean,
does feel
well,
that way.
even more,
They still
they
made the
didn't.
show.
No, it's
I
more
know.
kind of seeing it lets them submit it to a test audience of people who are like diehard Marvel fans. How does this resonate with you? Can we make
Mm.
a big mass market appeal from this?
Yeah,
Rather than
okay.
being like, hey, everyone, check this out, and then it fails. This one lets it kind of slowly build momentum because it's a quality show and it's going to have word of mouth just from that.
Yeah, okay.
Because like
Fair
Obi-Wan
enough. I like
Kenobi was hot trash. I don't care what anybody says. That was garbage.
it
It could have
was.
name recognition as much as you want. It's a terribly made show. And that's not going to have good word of mouth. But they got their eyeballs initially. And that's what, see, Disney has to balance. Do they care about eyes initially? And I think they do with Star Wars right now. But with Marvel, it's more of a long-term investment.
Okay, that's a good point. I like that. Makes me feel better about it, at least.
But I mean, there's always just different, we had a focus group and they didn't really like that she was Pakistani. They're like, well,
like,
we
well,
can't change that aspect
yeah,
of
that's
it.
can't do that. Sorry. Not gonna happen. Yeah. All right. Well, let me see what else I got down here. But
I mean,
I'm
really
happy to
liked-
hear that.
I really liked the wedding, just the dance scene in the
Oh
wedding.
yeah, the wedding scene.
I
I
liked
almost
the
forgot about
wedding.
that. Was fun.
It was really good. It was just a
Yeah,
ton
and it
of
felt
fun.
like an authentic wedding. It was really nice. It was really fun
Yeah.
to see that and see them dancing and having fun. And unfortunately, it got bombarded. By the clandestine.
Now, what did you guys think of the the boy, the clandestine son, the
Kamran?
Yes.
Yeah,
I felt like he was so stale.
He was a little bit
he was
stale,
good at the
unfortunately, but he
start.
got better.
At the start, when we
opposite.
didn't know who or what he
Before
was.
he was clandestine, like when they're on the date and he riffs on being her cousin and he throws on the different accent. He's like, "Oh, I've been watching Great British Bake Off or whatever, and that's why I had that accent." I thought he was
you
good.
too.
Oh, you too.
It's once he got his powers and the mom went into him. I thought he was one note.
Yes.
And they didn't develop, like all of a sudden he's like with Kamala, he's like on the same page, they're in the school, and then they go into the bathroom and all of a sudden he just like 180, I hate you, I'm running away, I'm done. It's like, what happened here?
Right.
They did not develop that at all.
No, exactly.
No, I think to your point, I think that it really is a lot of his mother taking over. Like, obviously, it has no control of his power. So I think a lot of his personality is being usurped by his mom at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is stale, unfortunately. But hopefully, when he joins the Red Daggers, he'll get that old personality back by harnessing that power and getting rid of the mother.
Speaking of the Red Daggers,
yeah,
I liked the guy who heads the thing. Of course, he had to get killed, but
the guy that
he
get killed, of course,
me
right?
of the guy in the Mummy who wears all black and stuff. He
Yes.
had like a similar
Yeah.
vibe. I love that guy. I love this guy. I thought he was a standout.
He was great.
What a solid! Oh, dude,
I love the way he paces around the room when he talks too. Yeah, he was a good guy.
Oh, that was a great comparison right there.
Yeah. But who knows? Maybe he's not dead. I mean, no one ever dies, and
no one ever does die. No one ever is truly dead.
You can always bring him back via CGI too if you wanted to. So literally, no one is.
Oh. Yep. Anyways, well,
I did like him.
I do want to give also a shout out to Jurassic Park. We had a point where they're in the kitchen and she's sneaking around on her hands and knees.
my
Like, That's Jurassic
Dude,
Park kitchen.
It
that
And then in
whole
the chase scene, and the entire chase scene, the guy's like, must go faster. And I'm like, pretty sure in a
Yep.
chase scene, I've seen somebody say must go faster.
I wonder what movie we've seen that in.
They really
Yeah.
did take a lot from Jurassic Park.
They did. But it was fun. I mean, it was obviously,
Yeah, it was great.
meant to be that way.
Oh, of
So,
course. A little homage.
yeah. That was
Even
fun.
though
But I
it
just
wasn't
didn't care.
rappers.
I just didn't care much for the clandestine. I think the actors who played them, aside from Kamran, were pretty one note and boring.
Yes,
They had
they
no
were boring.
personality.
They could
Even
have
Even the
the
been,
mom.
mom. Yeah,
The
even
mom
the
was
mom was boring.
ugh.
they could have been completely covered in masks and just been like generic foot soldiers, and it would have been the same as
Yeah,
what
flag
they
smashers.
were.
Exactly.
Pointless.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like like the Flag Smashers. Like,
Like, give
okay,
him some personality. Like, give him some empathy too. Like, I want to go back to my world. Like, it's more compelling if they're like, I haven't been to my home world in so long. I miss it. I miss my family. Whatever. I'll do anything. Like, that's more compelling than, let me just grab my stick and hit you. Like, what?
yeah.
What?
Now, when they
okay.
showed when they showed the graphic of their home world, I'm
Mhm.
like, wait, is that what their home world looks like? Because that doesn't look very nice. Why would you want to go back there?
Well,
I didn't
who
understand.
knows?
Yeah.
Who knows
okay,
what they
well-
look like there? Maybe they look different than
Oh,
humans,
gotcha.
possibly. For all I know.
Their whole argument though, it was weird because
Gotcha.
like once Kamran's talking about like his incentive because the mom's using him as kind of like the spokesperson, he's like,
Mhm.
oh, I need to get back. It's like they acted like the world was dying and they needed to save it, but they're just refugee, almost outlaws that want to like destroy the earth and make it into the other dimension's image. It's not
That's
like
it,
their
yes.
dimension was dying and they needed help.
Exactly.
They're just like
No, they just
have
want to
this
go back.
nefarious purpose to just destroy everything for no reason.
I mean, so from my understanding, it was they wanted to go back to their reality, but in order to do that, it would take over our reality as well, and that was the
They just
price
didn't
they were
care.
willing to
Those
pay.
four
They just didn't
people
care,
were like,
right?
yeah,
They're
whatever.
like,
These
"Oh,
four
well,
people are more important than the 7 billion
yeah,
people on this plane of
pretty
existence.
much, yeah." But we don't know why. They never really told us why. They never gave us the
No,
reason.
they
So-
never
Didn't
let
develop
us
them at all.
care.
Which sucks because
No.
that could have been compelling. If they added
Exactly.
2 more
Well-
episodes and fleshed that out a bit more,
I feel like we
It would've
say
been
that a
worthwhile.
lot. Just
I
add
know.
2 more episodes, and then this would have been perfect. 2 more
Right.
episodes, perfect.
Yeah.
Take Stranger Things, knock it down, cut it up into 2 more
See?
episodes.
There you go. Anyway. So yeah, that was my nitpick. I also didn't really care much for damage control. It was a little too over the
I
top. It
thought
was too
damage
much
control had no value whatsoever. Like
No value.
every time I was like, this is just an unnecessary obstacle.
Yeah, pretty much. It was like the guy from WandaVision, just generic
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
military
yes.
guy. Like
Yes.
Yeah.
no personality. So,
There's
okay.
exactly.
Like, come
And
on.
the problem is they use the woman from Orange is the New Black for
Mhm.
damage control, and all I can imagine is all the sex scenes that she was in Orange is the New Black. So, like, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm having a hard time imagining you in
I bet
a
you're having a
Disney
hard
show.
time.
Oh, Brog, we are a PG show,
Oh
sir.
boy, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, she was a little too over the top for me. Didn't quite work.
Well, I hate when they do this whole like, hey, we need you to stand down, just leave right now.
Yeah.
We're going in. It's like, no,
Yeah.
dude, you were just told to not go
And you're
in.
just
Not only
told
that, but like I liked the idea of having bystanders watch. Like it was a great idea to come up with using the
Right.
other person, whatever was her name, Jenny? I don't know what her name is.
I forget the name.
The popular chick,
Yeah,
using her
the
TikTok
pop
feed
girl, TikTok.
Yeah.
to get all the people there. But they're in harm's way. The actual cops, there's no way they would let a big group of people be that close to all this stuff going on.
way.
And not only
Yeah.
that, the damage control, they went in with stun guns. And then for some reason they switched to real guns. When she has to put up
Right.
her blockade, those are actual bullets coming at her.
Yeah.
I don't know when they chose to switch to lethal force. There was no
Yeah, I thought they wanted
order
her
to go
alive.
to that.
Oh, wild, yeah. Yep,
I
plot
don't
hole.
know.
All
Now,
those people though were so so potentially dead. They're just like that Hummer gets tossed back into him. If she's not there to grab it, dang, that would have been
done.
much worse.
Her whole family, the whole cast, gone.
Oh, that's when you
One
need the
sort of-
director of The Boys.
Yeah,
You just get the splatter marks everywhere.
that's
But
right.
let's go back to that popular girl. She was what, 15 years old or something like that? 15-year-old TikTok
Yeah.
star, something.
Yeah.
15, 16. Either way, when she goes, I need all my followers to come here. They literally start with showing a bunch of middle-aged men going, looking at their TikTok, going, "Well, I've got to go save her." Did nobody else realize?
I didn't
Hey,
notice that.
There's a bunch of middle-aged dudes who are
Yeah.
now running towards a 15-year-old girl at school.
Well, to be fair, she was talking about a superhero, and I think that the idea of a new superhero being out there is exciting to anybody, no matter their age. Just say if it were her herself and it was her own TikTok and it had nothing to do with this new superhero in town, yeah, it would be suspect.
Oh,
I
no,
don't think it was.
They definitely. She's got 3 million followers, I think she says in the show.
Right,
and
exactly.
I mean, you start with a bunch of middle-aged dudes. I don't
think
know.
She started with that.
Oh, they
honest.
definitely did. Definitely started with middle-aged dudes.
No, I mean, I don't think she started out with those as her followers. She probably had her friends in
no.
high school. And then once she saw Nightlight, everyone, no matter their demographic, were following her because she was the one that knew this superhero. But I get where you're going. I just don't think that is what I'm not feeling those weird, creepy vibes.
Okay, I absolutely was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't.
No, I get what you're saying, Alex. More of the cuts that the show made, not
Right.
necessarily the depiction of. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Obviously, they're not going to show a bunch of kids going to this crime scene. They had to show like, I guess, a bunch. But then what do? Do you show a bunch of middle-aged dudes watching TikTok of the 16-year-old girl with their girlfriends or their wives and saying, "Honey, I gotta go save this girl right now"? What do you like? I still just can't wrap my head around it. I can't.
I think you're looking at this wrong. I really do. I really do think you are.
But I'm looking
I
at
think
it
she's
in
too
a
famous for
realistic.
that. I don't think that she's.
I'm looking.
She's
Too famous for a 15-year-old.
No, I'm just saying.
I
think you're seeing it wrong.
No, I think what it's exposing TikTok because it's a bunch of predators watching a bunch of 15-year-old girls on TikTok.
There you go.
There you go.
I'm
saving lives right here.
Good for you. Oh, TikTok. I mean, it's evil to begin with, so why go on there?
I don't even have it.
I don't know. Anyways, that was a weird conversation. Let's continue
That was
on.
kind of weird, wasn't
Did
it?
you guys like the Home Alone? Just
Yes, that was what I
way to
wanted to talk
defend the
about
high
before we
school?
got derailed here by old men.
I'm
looking at
telling you.
girls,
Watch that episode again. You'll notice.
staring at girls. Okay, all right. Yes, I enjoyed that scene. I really like the call out to like everyone dressing up together as the same person, going undercover with like the cap and everything, and the traditional MCU undercover look that everyone uses. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
A hat and a sweater.
They'll never know it's us. Yeah, right.
Well, I tell you what, too, those stun guns that the police officers were using, if that would have hit one of those kids, dude, they're gone. They're gonna have a gigantic.
But they're too good
hole
for
in
that,
them.
man. They duck diving. What do you call it? The dodge, duck, dip. I'm trying to do the dodgeball thing, and I forget how it goes. You can dodge a wrench. You can dodge a ball.
There you go.
Yeah. Anyway, but yes, it was a fun scene. What do you like about it, Trevor?
I think it was more how interconnected. Like, I really loved the explosion of the stuff in the chemistry lab, and all I could think of was how good of friends Bruno and Peter Parker and Ned could all be.
Oh my god! Right?
Super nerds unite.
Yeah.
It would be fun. God, they really would be. That's funny. Not too far from each other.
Yeah, Jersey City, not far at all.
Team up coming soon, I think.
Oh, you think?
Mm-hmm.
We got to create a Miles first, or we got to be introduced to Miles first.
That's true. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Well, we'll see. We'll see. They keep
Well,
they keep teasing it. I mean, even God, what is her name? Jenny? No, you're talking about the other person. The person from Damage Control, the lady from Orange is the New Black. She even mentions the whole thing about these people keep getting the wrong people keep getting superpowers. Wrong people
That was
being
a
kids.
great line. I
Yeah, 'cause
couldn't
you think it's
imagine even
about Muslims, right? And she was like trying to divert that.
oh, my brain went elsewhere.
Yeah, but no, she meant kids because kids keep getting the powers are going to become the Young Avengers soon. So another nod
Yeah.
to Young Avengers coming.
Gotcha.
And
And then
I'm excited to see it come, to be honest. Like, as I'm watching all these little pieces.
Yeah, it's fun, man. You get to see, can they live up to their heroes? Inevitably, that's kind of going to be kind of themes moving forward. Once they do kind of come together, it's like, oh, you idolize all these past heroes. Can you be the same, better, worse? It'll be good for some good storytelling.
And then you mentioned on your Twitter, Prague, about mutants.
The M word.
The M word.
We're going
big-
right to the end.
Midichlorians.
But that's what Alex did. It. Alex went there.
Okay, we're going
hard in the paint.
midichlorians.
We're going
Yes, we
midichlorians,
are.
baby. Let's do it.
We're talking midichlorians. Yeah, so this is a big departure from the comics. As someone who has read and loved the comics, the one thing I did not like about the comics was that she was an Inhuman. So I loved this moment for me because
Not only that, just from the setup of this show, I thought it was going to be more like Shang-Chi, where he's powered by the 10 rings, and so she has
Right, that's what I thought too.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, that's what we're going with. Yeah.
Right.
And so for them to have this weird, awkward 1 week later transition, and Bruto to say, yeah, it's 1 week later.
No, I know. It was bizarre. Like, why
It
1
was
week?
a bizarre transition.
It had to be something. Yeah, 1 day later, 2 days later. I mean, it was 2 days
It
later.
felt like an end credit scene too. That's what was so weird. Like, this could have been the Stinger scene, but they chose it in the course of the show. And he says there's something different in your genes, like a mutation. And then they play the X-Men chords from the 90s Fox show. Just the same chord that they play when Charles Xavier comes out in Doctor Strange. Same exact chords.
Up. So there you go. I
don't think they're beating around the bush now. They're not hiding it. But...
No, Aman Vellani actually posted on something on Twitter or something that it was for sure. Yeah, mutants were coming. That she got the call from Kevin Feige that she would be the first mutant in the MCU. So that's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting for her.
Setup. It's a cool reveal too. I don't think anyone expected that in the course of this 6 episode
run. Anyone
did.
I don't know how they kept that quiet too. That was really good. Those two actors had to keep it really hush hush.
Well, and what does that mean now? Because we already have a timeline for the future of the MCU. What does that mean now for mutants and X-Men and bringing that stuff all together? I mean,
a lot of different things. I don't know.
My God. And we're going to go to Comic-Con this weekend. We're going to learn about all of it this weekend.
I doubt we're going to learn about all of it.
Saturday.
We're going to learn about all of it from point A to point Z.
Yes.
Or at least point X, but okay.
Oh, God.
We had it.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
There it is.
Fantastic stuff, guys.
Yeah.
And
now,
then
we might not get X-Men. We might not at all ever get X-Men. We might just get the mutants.
Well, maybe not.
X-Men aren't the only mutants. So
yeah.
What do you mean?
There are more mutants out there than just the X-Men. X-Men are just one small team that exists.
No,
but
the X-Men. But that's what people want is the X-Men.
Eventually, we'll get the X-Men.
About these other mutants.
I don't think we're going to get it right away. We might, but
we have to do it.
They're slow playing this as slow as you possibly could.
Oh, they are.
Well, the fact that it was one line out of a 6-episode show, yeah.
Even though it's tricky.
They had an idea that not as many people were going to watch. Like, they could have thrown this into WandaVision. Like, they joked around about it in WandaVision.
They really did.
But instead, they put it in Miss Marvel, where she has no pedigree of being a mutant ever.
Yep. So there you go. It was interesting. Plot twist for everybody.
What's its twist?
Well, the twist. I'm just glad she's not an Inhuman. I can't stand the two.
I know. Just agreed.
Now, can we talk about the actual stinger of the show?
Sure.
What was that all about?
What do you think it was about, Alex?
I don't know. It was
I'm
like
intrigued what you do think.
It seems like she got sucked in. It's hard to say because it was like, oh, her bangle's glowing, and then all of a sudden she like whips backwards, and then Carol Danvers shows up. Why Carol Danvers would show up makes no sense to me.
Think a little bit here. There's
No, don't
usually
make me think. That's why
how
I
many
have you.
arms do you have? How many arms do you have?
I have 2 arms.
Right. How many bangles have we seen on this show?
1 bangle.
Right. So somewhere out there was the other bangle, most likely. And we saw it in that one episode flashback with a Kree hand. And we know that she's up with the Kree with, what's his name?
Wait, we saw the other one before?
Yeah, it was. We knew that there's 2. They're looking for the second one.
I
we
know that there's
we only saw the
2,
one. Sorry, I apologize. We only saw the one. They told us there were 2, and we saw the one that they took off a Kree hand. And we know that Carol Danvers is with the Kree right now. She's with them up there doing space stuff for the Marvels coming up. So my guess is that she teleported. They swapped places. Like she went to where Carol Danvers was, and Carol Danvers went to where Kamala was.
What?
Yeah,
that's way more interesting than what I was going with.
I mean, I don't know the exact where she went, but that's my guess. Is that probably Carol Danvers for some reason had access to that other bangle, and it was like a gateway to the other side.
Cool. All right.
But that's how she gets involved with the Marvels, obviously.
But wouldn't like I get what you're saying, but wouldn't she need to be wearing it or have some like when she came through, she wasn't wearing the other bangle?
I think what might have happened. That's a good point. That's something I thought about too. Is that it's possible that the bangle did something to her and she lost possession of the bangle, but still had the ability to be transported somehow. I don't know how.
Or like a Kree got a hold of the bangle and like
did it
fired
it.
Yeah,
he's like, here, let's do something. Who knows? Exactly.
Or that wasn't actually Carol Danvers, and that was a Kree that has the bangle.
Secret Invasion, of course. That could be it too.
I'm so sick of the Kree because you could literally just have any character.
It's the worst plot device in the history of time.
I really don't like it at all.
I do not want this to happen.
It's gonna happen.
I know. I do not. I'm just. I'll watch it and be.
My money is that is actually Carol Danvers. I don't. That seems silly for it to be anything else. So that's my money's on it.
She definitely reacted like, "What is going on? Why are there this room with posters of
me?" Yeah, yeah. I think it was meant to be her. I don't think that'd be weird if it wasn't. So
yeah,
I do like the new suit. Looks good.
But
the redesign of Miss Marvel's suit. I'm sorry, Captain Marvel's suit. A lot better.
This is gonna be.
I mean, did you like the dad telling the story of the name and her coming up with Miss Marvel and that Marvel? It's perfect wonder. Yep, that was pretty neat.
That was a good moment.
Too. It was a very sweet moment, and I love that he goes out onto the roof and he's like, "Ooh,
oh, he's all scared.
I'm scared of this." Ooh, and he literally has like a superhero daughter.
Yep, I could easily say
that. He reminds me of the friend in Indiana Jones. You know, the guy played by the dude from Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a good guy. Good character too.
Yeah.
Another good character. Yeah, it was a great moment.
Any final thoughts though?
No. Remember, good is not a thing. Yeah, remember, good is not a thing you are. It's a thing you do.
Oh. There you go.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Let me see if everything else. I don't think I do. I think I touched on everything that I wanted to. I just like that. The suit being put together was nice too throughout the whole series. Seeing different parts of her suit come into play, I really enjoyed that.
And shout out to the mom's ability to stitch that suit so fitting. Like at the end, that was tailored perfectly. I don't know when she did the measurements on her daughter, but that was perfect.
She's super mom. I mean, come on. Did you see how fast she packed the meal for Bruno? I mean, that was like 2 seconds. She was in the kitchen, came right back out, fully ready to go, man.
She probably already had her dimensions.
Yeah.
I mean, she had a different suit for her within a night.
It's true.
Before AvengerCon.
Mm-hmm.
That was a little baggier. This was quite form-fitting.
This was really well done.
But at the same time, the fact that she was able to throw something together pretty quickly. Yeah, she became more open to the idea of her wearing form-fitting outfits.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Which was a great character development right there.
There you go.
Also, with the other Spider-Man connections I've talked about, I do want to
Uh-huh.
like it was a lot like Homecoming with the sketches coming to life, but that was mainly in Homecoming. It's not like within the like actual flow of the show. You know, it's like the end
Sure.
credit scene and the beginning opening. For them to do it within the context and have a new way to display text messages, like we've messaged it, but a lot of shows don't know how to portray conversation on phones, even though it's such a big part of us as a society now. I thought they had a really ingenious new way to do it.
Yeah, it was great. Well, my favorite aspects of the show was that integration of text on the screen in new and exciting ways.
But also in Homecoming, there's a deli that gets blown up, and as soon as I see the deli get blown up at the end of episode 5, it looks just like Homecoming. It's almost the same exact like cinematography and angle of the camera and everything.
Nice.
They love blowing up those delis when you get to the Northeast, I guess.
A deli, boom!
Watch out for any future delis.
Kevin Feige's got a thing against him, so
maybe
blow them up one at a time.
Gotta get them all, man.
He worked in a deli when he was a little kid. That was his first job. He worked in the deli as a busboy.
He hated it.
So, what do you guys think is the future for this character?
I think that she's gonna take on the mantle of Miss Marvel and be a part of the Young Adventures, I guess. I don't know.
Right on.
And take care of New
Marvels, though. How much are we gonna tie in Monica Rambeau versus Carol Danvers versus Kamala Khan?
I don't know. I've been thinking about that a lot, and I have no idea how they're going to balance that in the film. So we shall see. Maybe they get like placed into different places for protection. Like you go here and you take care of this part of the world or the universe. I have no idea.
I totally forgot about Monica Rambeau.
Yeah, and she was from. I don't know if she's from, but she is. She was in New Jersey. So for WandaVision.
Yes, she was.
Oh, yeah.
Interestingly enough.
See, but they don't really talk about any of this other stuff that happens in New Jersey.
No, they don't. Interesting.
Which is another reason why I keep thinking this could be another universe, man.
But
it's probably not. No, I know. You've already told me.
Speaking of what could be or is not other universes, though, I do want to just say how much Moon Knight kind of let go. Like, Moon Knight could have leaned fully into the whole Egyptian thing, the way that Miss Marvel did into the Pakistani thing, and they didn't. They did. They like dipped their toe into it, and shows you what could have been with Moon Knight, because Moon Knight has good elements, but they just don't go far enough. This show goes all in, and you can really appreciate it.
Like literally all in. Like it was really well done, and it was appreciated. And yeah, I agree. If they had done that with Moon Knight, it would have been such a better, more well-rounded show.
And I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier could have done the same thing to dive, like the scenes where they go to the old guy who could have been the first Captain America as an African American.
Oh,
they could have
absolutely.
Those were the best sequences from that show, and they were like a total of like 15 minutes. If the whole show run was about that, it would have been a much better show to just lean heavily into the differences.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we even talked about that in our Falcon and Winter Soldier.
This show kind of
that was more interesting than anything else we ever saw.
Yeah.
So shout out to the showrunner. Good job.
And then, so if you would have ranked all of the Marvel shows, I was thinking about it. I still think I go Loki, WandaVision, and this is 3.
Yeah, this would probably be 3rd on mine as well, with it reversed with WandaVision, Loki, this. And the rest doesn't really matter, I don't think.
The rest
I'm trying
does
to remember
not really matter.
Well, I'm just wondering how the rest would. I mean, okay, yes, Captain America, or Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's Moon Knight. I just don't see Moon Knight being in the larger picture.
I just forget that it happened unless someone mentions it.
Absolutely, which doesn't make sense.
It's not like a bad thing. It's just I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. That
I see him all the time because he's the last thing in the intro and the M. They show his face. It always reminds me.
You'll always remember.
And
Like,
this will be the
also-
only way.
Speaking of the intros, they did a really good job of changing it up. There's the one where they're back in time and they make it like an old, like sepia toned film for the Marvel Studios
that's
intro. They change the
fantastic.
song every single time.
Yes.
And
I
then
loved
there's
it.
the actual Miss Marvel where it's written all those different ways in every episode. Like Loki
I love
suddenly
that.
changes it. They go all in. The one
Yeah.
where it's burned onto the non, though, that was my favorite one.
That was a cute one. Yeah.
Or the one where it's all in Arabic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good too.
The one
That
where
was
they
flashback
did
one.
the full episode that was a flashback and it's all in Arabic. That
They
I
had fun
actually-
with it.
they did have fun with it, and I think that they knew that they had a little bit more of creative freedom. Thank you,
There we
little
go.
Just like
creative freedom.
freedom.
Just because
That's
I
the whole
mean,
fetish thing. So,
I do feel like they were gonna think, oh well, this show's probably gonna fly under the radar. Like, not many people are gonna watch this,
So go big. I love it.
and it
Love when-
worked.
I love when they do
It
that.
worked.
Yeah.
But ranking, Loki, this has got to be number 3 somewhere. Maybe What If number 2. I don't even really remember the rest of them. I really liked What If though.
It's funny though, because Hawkeye's the one I do forget about, but
Oh,
she's going
God,
to
I
tie
forgot.
to Young Avengers. And there's certain
Yeah.
angles where she looked like Haley Steinfeld. It was the weirdest thing. It's when she had her actual curled hair in
Oh.
front of her eyes. And straight on, she doesn't look anything like her. But there's certain angles where it was the weirdest thing. That's the only thing that made me remember Hawkeye, was how she looked like Haley Steinfeld.
Weird. I could
Yeah, I
totally
forgot to
see
rank
that.
Hawkeye. I forgot. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
It's in there somewhere.
Hawkeye's a Christmas show.
Yeah.
That's something I could watch every Christmas, right? I'll never
I mean,
need
if
to
you
watch
want
Falcon.
I
to.
don't think I could ever watch it again, but okay.
I didn't think it was as bad as Falcon and Winter Soldier, but it wasn't the
I just
worst
don't
thing
think
that
I
they
could
came
watch
out
it. I
with.
thought it was just completely generic. That's what it seems like with Marvel shows. They're just forgettable and generic unless they truly go all in and do something different. WandaVision does something different. Loki does something different, and now Miss Marvel does something different. All the other ones
they
kind of
stand
play
out.
it safe.
Yep. There you go. Don't play it safe, Marvel. Keep doing this. Keep this up. We like this.
We do like
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. To everyone listening, we'll hopefully see you at San Diego Comic-Con this week. If you don't make it out, you're going to hear all about it next week. So I hope you're interested.
Maybe I'll take
We hope
notes.
you enjoyed, and we'll talk to you next time.
Frog out.
Adios, y'all.